Hello everyone, this is Sodhi from CAAN Wings Consultants Private Limited. Welcome to the Saturday edition. First of all, I'd like to share with you that the visa grants are on. In fact, we just received a visa grant for a 491 applicant in as less as just 80 days from the date of her application lodgement with the DHA. Therefore, all of you who had some looming concerns about the processing times being higher for 491 can just sit back and relax. Now let's get started with the 5 most important tips that I'm going to share with you. These tips will help you put up a great application and get your results, be it a skills assessment, state nomination or a visa, fast and probably very favorable results. Let's get started. So the first tip I'd like to share with you is that when you're thinking of nominating an occupation, please see whether that occupation is a true reflection of what you're actually doing. Do not try to put a square peg in a round hole. Do not try to go with an occupation that is listed on the MLTSSL just because you can be eligible for a 189. Do not try to go for an occupation that does not justify your role within the organization. Then I've also seen a lot of people selecting occupations based on what occupations are available in a particular state for nomination. So even though their occupation may not relate to the profile or the occupation that is available in a particular state, they choose to go with that occupation because they somehow think that, since this occupation is available in this state, let me nominate this occupation so that my nomination chances are maximized. That is not how you're supposed to go about it. Things ought to go wrong. So selection of your occupation is critical. It's the foundation of your visa application and it should be done very, very, very judiciously. After that, I'm going to talk about the skills assessment. Now, we do know that the skills assessment under priority processing are largely not available. Though some assessment bodies do have the option to prioritize or fast track your skills assessment, owing to a huge influx of applications, assessment bodies are not able to deal with so many applications. Therefore, a client wastes maybe months waiting to put up the application under priority processing. So I'm actually referring to the varices here. So they go on trying to lodge the application under priority processing. They're not able to do so, and in the process they end up losing precious time. Instead, what I recommend is that you go ahead and submit a complete application. Submitting a complete decision-ready application can probably take much lesser time, and you could get a result within the prescribed timelines instead of trying to force your application through a priority process. Now, let's talk about the expression of interest. So once you're done with your skills assessment, obviously you have to lodge your expression of interest. Now, there are a lot of theories around the expression of interest, whether one should lodge only one EOI, one should lodge multiple EOIs, or one should lodge as many EOIs as possible. So my answer to this question is that I do not recommend that you lodge too many EOIs. At the most, 2 EOIs are safe to go with. If you launch too many EOIs, it can hamper your chances of getting an invite. On the other hand, let's say you get invited for a nomination by more than one state. Please decide which state you want to go with, because if you put up your application for a nomination with more than one state, you are actually not satisfying the commitment criteria, and this misleading act, I would say, could put you in trouble, and the nomination application can be potentially refused. Now, again, the $1,000,000 question: Should I go for 491 or should I wait for 190? People do know the quota for 190 exists. It's large, and everybody wants, especially the ones whose occupation is on the MLTSS and the STSL. I mean, only the ones whose occupations are listed on these two lists. Usually like to wait it out, you know. They want to wait for the state to pick them up for a 190. So I think I'd like to go with the theory that one in hand is better than two in bush. So if you think you can put up a direct RDA application, or if you've got an invitation for a 491, please go ahead with it, because 190 is essentially an invitation based nomination, and you never know whether they would consider you for a 190 or not. So it's a gamble basically. On the other hand, let's say if let's go with the example of South Australia, that they send you an invitation to apply for a nomination, and it's really up to you whether you want to apply for a 190 or a 491. Let's say you qualify for 190. You do lodge an application for 190. Still, it is the prerogative of the state to decide whether they want to accept your nomination under 190 or give you under 491. We have incidences where the applicant qualifies for a 190, we apply for a 190, but the state chooses to give them a 491 and not a 190 nomination. Finally, when the DHA application, that is the visa application, is lodged, my advice is please ensure that you provide exhaustive documentation to support your claims of employment. A lot of times applicants like to just stick with whatever information they've provided in their skills assessment. They probably think that this is the information we provided for skills assessment and it was all fine. We got an assessment based on this documentation, so let's play it safe and just go with that documentation. Let me tell you that the DHA, the Department of Home Affairs, would like to have more information about your employment other than what you provided to the skills assessment bodies. So it is always helpful to provide additional information in your visa application to support your claims of employment. So that will be it for now. I hope these tips are useful to you. For any queries and concerns, please feel free to get in touch with us. I'll be happy to take up your queries. Until next time, bye-bye and take care.